Ark 2 is the sequel to the popular survival and open-world game Ark Survival Evolved, which was released in 2015. The game was announced in December 2020 and generated high expectations, especially with the revelation that actor Vin Diesel not only acts as an executive producer, but also as one of the main characters, named Santiago da Costa, a Brazilian living in the world of Ark. The release of Ark 2 was initially scheduled for 2022, but faced several delays. The most recent release date was set for the end of 2024. The studio wildcard justified the delays as necessary to enhance the game and ensure the well-being of the development team. Blight Survival is a cooperative medieval horror game that promises to take players on an epic and terrifying journey. The game is set in a brutal medieval world where the blight has spread across the land, turning inhabitants into monstrous creatures and infecting the landscape itself. You and your companions must venture into dangerous lands, face hordes of enemies, and seek a way to destroy the source of the blight before it consumes everything. Blight Survival is an action and horror game focused on cooperative gameplay. You and your friends must work together to survive, collect resources, build bases, and confront enemies. Dune Awakening is a highly anticipated game that promises to transport fans of Frank Herbert's universe to a world of sand, intrigue, and survival. This open-world MMO, developed by Funcom, will allow players to explore the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune, a harsh and dangerous place. Arrakis is an unforgiving planet, with sandstorms, giant sandworms, and scarce resources. Players will need to build shelters, manage their water and energy supplies, and learn to survive in the desert's extreme conditions. The game will feature a massive procedurally generated map, allowing players to explore ancient ruins, underground caves, and other mysterious areas of Arrakis.
Like nobody's right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time into that and proceed. I need whatever the hell could make me happy, and I don't think you have a clue what could that be. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something.
Enotria: The Last Song is an action RPG game in the Souls-like style, developed by Jayama Games. The game is set in a sunny world inspired by Italian culture and folklore. Enotria stands out for its vibrant and light-filled setting, contrasting with the darker themes typical of other Souls-like games. The world is described as a sunny land hiding dark secrets, and players will have the task of unraveling these mysteries. The game is often referred to as a summer soul, reflecting its light and sunny atmosphere. Players take on the role of Ardor, a character who can explore 3 distinct regions, facing over 100 unique enemies.
Honorable Steward.
Frostpunk 2 is the highly anticipated sequel to the acclaimed strategy and survival game Frostpunk, released in 2018. The game takes place 30 years after the events of the first Frostpunk, in a world still devastated by an apocalyptic ice storm. Earth has turned into a frozen wasteland, and players take on the roles of leaders of a metropolis, struggling for resources and facing internal conflicts. The narrative promises to explore themes of survival in a hostile environment, where new sources of energy have been discovered, but new threats related to human nature and the quest for power have also emerged.
Starving. More people, more mouths to feed. They treat us like animals, left to suffocate. We need a place to work.
Who else will feed our families?
Steward, this squalor will kill her. Where are the homes you've promised?
Can we all receive equal rations?
Hospitals are not a place for experiments. Free education for our children.
Secure and stable growth. City for the citizens!
Steward, hear your people!
We want a say in how we run the city.
The time of tyranny has ended.
Our delegates will make sure of that.
Let them vote.
Yes, vote.
Steward!
Do you hear us?
Steward!
Steward, what about us?
What?
Impossible.
Instinction is a first-person action-adventure game developed by Hashbane Interactive, described as a spiritual successor to Dino Crisis, a Capcom classic. The game is set in a prehistoric world dominated by dinosaurs, where players will face various colossal creatures like saber-toothed tigers and velociraptors. Instinction combines intense combat with exploration in a semi-open environment. Players can customize their characters in both the single-player campaign and online cooperative mode. In addition to the single-player mode, there will be a multiplayer mode, allowing players to share the story experience or engage in direct confrontations.
After all this death, if you had the chance to do it all again, what would you have done?
Primitive is a title that promises a unique experience in the action and adventure genre. Set in a prehistoric world, players take on the role of a character who must survive in a hostile environment, facing dangerous creatures and exploring vast landscapes. The game offers an expansive world to explore, full of natural resources, caves, and native tribes. Players will need to collect resources, hunt, and build shelters to ensure their survival. Combat in Primitive is visceral and strategic. Players can choose between melee combat with weapons like axes, spears, and clubs, or ranged combat with bows and arrows.
Attempt leaving the city using transportation services.
Rooted is a survival game set in a post-apocalyptic world, scheduled for release on PC. The game stands out for its combination of survival horror and exploration elements in an open environment, using the powerful technology of Unreal Engine 5 to create stunning graphics and an immersive experience. Rooted's setting is in the near future, specifically in the year 2100, where players are among the few survivors in a world devastated by bacteriological wars. The old urban areas are highly contaminated, and players will need to protect themselves with special suits and tools to explore these areas in search of resources.
For safety reasons, the Army has deployed autonomous civilian security robots. They are here to protect you.
Скіфе! Радий тебе бачити, друже. Валимо звідси.
In S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, players will explore the Chornobyl exclusion zone, which was drastically altered after a second reactor explosion in 2006. The environment is characterized by violent mutants, deadly anomalies, and warring factions, making survival a constant challenge. The game combines elements of first-person shooting, immersive simulation, and horror, allowing players to make choices that will impact the narrative and the character's fate. Players take on the role of a stalker, who enters the zone in search of valuable artifacts and the hidden truth at the heart of Chornobyl. The narrative is non-linear, offering multiple endings and a rich story that unfolds based on the player's choices.
Зараз час такий. Час можливостей.
Усі ці жертви, усі ці смерті. Який в них сенс? Зона така, якою бачиш її ти. Я ж показав тобі, якою я її бачу. Іди своїм шляхом, і тоді ти зможеш побачити зону.
Under a Rock is a procedurally generated open-world survival game for 1 to 10 players. The game is set on a mysterious and colorful island, inhabited by exotic creatures, large wildlife, and curious natives. The world is procedurally generated, meaning that each time you play, the island will be different. Players must explore the island, uncover its secrets, build their bases, and survive hostile environments and dangerous nights. Under a Rock supports up to 10 players in cooperative mode. Players can work together to survive, build their bases, and explore the island.
I'm falling fast, sitting here praying that this night's gonna last.
The Lost Wild is a survival and horror game being developed by the British studio Great Ape Games and will be published by Annapurna Interactive. The release is scheduled for 2024 exclusively for PC. The game is set on a lost island where players must explore a prehistoric environment full of dinosaurs. The narrative involves the discovery of abandoned research facilities, while the player tries to survive in a hostile territory. The protagonist is guided by a mysterious voice communicating via radio, similar to games like Firewatch. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.